Critical district matchups and non-district showstoppers. Week 4 of the Texas high school football season has got it all. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to week 4 of the 2024 Texas high school football season. And it feels like we're at a bit of an inflection point, a bit of an in-between period as far as the season is concerned. On one hand, we have 3 weeks of data, right? Some teams have played 3 games and we feel like we have a decent feel for what they are. But on the other hand, teams can grow, teams can change. There were teams that started 0-3 that played for state championships last year. So this is kind of that in-between period, especially as district play starts to ramp up, where we really get to know what these teams are about. We start kind of factoring out those preconceived notions, the preseason predictions, and start factoring in the data at hand. But week 4 is also this great time where we've got this big district matchups coming down the pike, as well as still a great selection of non-district games. There's huge games in every corner of the state this week. We start in the Brazos Valley. 7 o'clock Friday night at Tigerland Stadium in College Station. It is a District 12 5A Division I slugfest as the unbeaten College Station Cougars visit the unbeaten A&M Consolidated Tigers in a must-see rivalry matchup with all sorts of stakes. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, pouncing Tigers. Let's talk a little bit about A&M Consolidated and the way that they've gotten to 3-0, including last week's really impressive win over Pflugerville Weiss. Yes, the offense has been very good, and yes, the defense has made plays, but more than that, they have found a way to score on defense or special teams in all 3 of their wins. Yes, they are that serious. And guys like Cannon Kieschnick have been outstanding, as well as Ethan Walton. They make big splash plays that change the game, and they've done it week in and week out. That is a big point of emphasis for Brandon Schmidt's ball club, is finding those big plays on defense and special teams. They've had that magic touch throughout the first 3 weeks. Can the Tigers come up with another big special teams or defensive play to turn this rivalry game? Key number 2, the quarterback duel. This is a fantastic quarterback matchup of 2 guys who are maybe coming at it from different areas. For College Station, it's Cade Corcoran taking over for the fabulous Arrington Maiden, and Corcoran has been really rock solid. 8 touchdowns to no interceptions to start the year. That's what you want to see from your signal caller, and he has been very solid for the unbeaten state-ranked Cougars. On the A&M Consolidated side, you have Will Hargett, the 4-year starter who has gotten better every single year. You have seen him grow from a freshman to a sophomore to a junior and now to a true senior leader. He looks like he has made that leap. So in this big rivalry game with a big atmosphere at Tigerland Stadium, which quarterback can handle the atmosphere better? And key number 3, the streak. So here's a weird set of facts. A&M Consolidated has been playing football since 1936. They are the flagship program of College Station. College Station High has been around since 2014 playing football. And yet, College Station is 6-0 against Consolidated. That's right. The Cougars have never lost to the Tigers. They have absolutely had their number. Now, the games have been close, right? The average margin of victory in these 6 games has been about 7 or 8 points. They've been 1-possession ball games, but College Station, plain and simple, they have had the Tigers' number. And you know that sticks in the craw of the old guard in Consolidated. So, is this the year that Consol can finally find that magic, or will College Station continue their mastery of their crosstown rival? Who am I picking? I'm going with College Station. I ain't picking against a streak, and especially when you factor in the College Station defense led by Braylon Wortham and Jack Stavinoa, which has been excellent to start the year. Combine that with what has been a very strong offense led by Cade Corcoran, and I think College Station enters this game as a favorite. Now, for A&M Consolidated, I think they've got the senior quarterback advantage there with Will Hargett and that splash play, right? The ability to change the game on defense and special teams. They have had that knack to start the year. They will need it if they're going to win this game. In the end, I think the streak continues. I think College Station beats their crosstown rival. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Lumpkin Stadium in Waxahachie. It is a neutral site 4A versus 3A slugfest as the Celina Bobcats take on the Franklin Lions, and this is the kind of non-district game you want to see. And if you like running game, do I have the matchup for you. These two teams are going to line it up and run the ball at one another. For Franklin, it's the slot T attack led by Jaden Jackson. They list him at 6'2", 220, and I don't believe it because that guy is a freight train. And when you add in his brother Bubba Jackson, they are a dynamite combination in the backfield for Mark Fannon's ball club. That is one of the most consistently excellent programs in Texas high school football at any level. Taking on a Salina team that has looked every bit the part of a state championship contender in 4A, coming off of a mauling of Gunner last week, and their running game with Franklin Gutierrez and Harrison Williams has been absolutely outstanding. And the difference for me is the defense for Celina, which has been very good. They run that 10-1 defense, which can be very aggressive, but when it works really well. That's part of the reason why I wonder if this is a bad matchup for Franklin. Not only are they the smaller team, 4A versus 3A, but also the style of defense that Celina plays tends to give trouble to teams that run the slot team like Franklin. I think this game has an opportunity to be close, but I think that Celina is your favorite. I think the Bobcats get the win. Let's go out east, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Bulldog Stadium in Tyler. It is a tantalizing non-district matchup as the Carthage Bulldogs visit the Tyler Chapel Hill Bulldogs in a game that may be the most anticipated non-district game in East Texas all year. This game is going to be absolutely fantastic. And for Carthage, the long wait is finally over. The Bulldogs won a game. I'm, of course, being facetious, but they had lost 2 in a row, dating back to last year's playoff loss to Gilmer, and then they started the year with a loss to Kilgore, had an open date, and then went on the road to Texarkana Liberty Ilo and came away with a resounding win. Most importantly, the offense really got going. Quarterback Jet Surratt and running back KJ Edwards really stepping in and playing fantastic, getting that offense in gear. The defense, spectacular as well. They only allowed 1 offensive touchdown last week against Liberty Ilo. That defense will need to be good against what has been one of the most high-powered attacks in East Texas, not just this year, but the past few years in Chapel Hill. With Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart, these dudes can flat out fly. This team is playing outstanding football on all sides of the ball, and I think that's a credit to the program that Jeff Reardon has built. They're not just the stars. The worker bees are also fantastic in this one. In the end, it's hard for me to pick against Carthage, right? This is a team that I think really woke up offensively. I want to see what the Chapel Hill defense has in store for them. But in the end, I make Carthage a very slight favorite. And how about some Thursday night action? 7 o'clock Thursday night at Woodforest Bank Stadium in Conroe. It is a tantalizing District 13 6A showdown between the Willis Wildcats and the Woodlands Highlanders. It's a matchup of unbeatens that could in fact be for the district championship. Yes, in week 4. And what I love about this game is the matchup of quarterbacks with big shoes to fill. For the Woodlands, it's Jack Dalton, who has stepped in for Mabry Matauer, who's off to graduation, and he has been really rock solid to start the year. Got a great weapon on the outside in Jackson Bolander. They have been fabulous to start the year, and of course the Woodlands tends to play pretty darn good defense. For Willis, we had big questions as to how they were going to fill the shoes left by Mr. Texas football, DJ Lagway, who's now at the University of Florida. Well, Jack Emerson has stepped up in a very big way, and they have plenty of weapons around him, like Jermaine Bishop. This offense has been absolutely sensational, and the difference in this ball game, I think Willis's defense is kind of underrated. I think the Wildcats defense has been absolutely spectacular this year. I think they come up with 1 or 2 extra stops, and yeah, I think Willis gets the win. But those are far from the only big games in week 4 of the Texas high school football season. But before we get to the lightning round, there are 27 matchups of unbeaten UIL teams this week. And I am going to make sure we pick every single one of them. Let's get to a very special edition of the lightning round. I think Mineral Well stays perfect with a win over Quinlan Ford. Give me Rice Consolidated over Hallettsville, and Stephenville keeps rolling with a win over Abilene Wiley. I like Round Rock over Round Rock McNeil. Agua Dulce beats Fremont in a battle of surprise unbeatens, and give me Dallas Parish Episcopal over Austin LBJ. I like Mason over Junction. South Lake Carroll stays perfect with a win over Euless Trinity, and Columbus keeps rolling with a win over Madisonville. Mansfield takes down Hewitt Midway. Fort Worth Chisholm Trail takes down Fort Worth Trimble Tech to stay perfect. And speaking of matchup of unbeatens, I like Brian Rudder over Nacogdoches. Elysian Fields takes down Hawkins. I like El Paso del Valle over Canutillo. And Collinsville stays hot with a win over Wolf City. I'm going with Hondo over Devine. Llano beats Gerald. And I like Alvarado over Waco Connolly. Huge Thursday night game in Houston. I like Richmond Randall over Fort Bend Marshall. Give me Iowa Colony over Baytown Lee. And back up in DFW, I like Frisco Lone Star over Frisco Centennial. I like Katy Jordan over Katy Maid Creek. Newly ranked Panhandle beats Amarillo River Road. And Silsbee gets by Beaumont Westbrook. I'm going with Shallow Water over Midland Greenwood. Lubbock Roosevelt takes down Stanton. And I like Bushland over Canyon West Plains. How about these matchups of unbeatens? I like San Antonio J over San Antonio Southwest Legacy. Give me Slayton to beat Post. And Mount Enterprise beats Shelbyville. I like Sunray to stay hot with a win over Childress. Give me Crystal City over Uvalde. And believe it, I like Edinburgh Economides to stay perfect with a win over Brownsville Pace. I like Aquila over Milford. Give me Lexington over Grosbeck. And a huge San Antonio versus Austin matchup. I like Cibolo Steel over Austin Westlake. I'm going with Troy over Thrall. Give me Jayton over Knox City. And the high-flying Wolf with Friendship offense beats Lubbock Cooper. I'm going with Electra over Era, and Munster stays hot with a win over Pottsboro. In our private school game of the week, I like Houston Second Baptist over Houston St. John's, and in the six-man ranks, give me May over Newcastle. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/DaveCampbells. Also on Instagram, instagram.com/DaveCampbells. And of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 4 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.